What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here, back with another NFL record prediction. In this video, I'm breaking down the Denver Broncos 2021 NFL schedule, giving you my game-by-game analysis, pick by pick, each and every week. Here is my record prediction for the Broncos this season. Before I give you that prediction, make sure that you do spike that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more bottom line view NFL record predictions just like this. And get in that comment section and let me know, Broncos fans, how you think Denver's going to do this season. Do you think you're back in the playoffs this year? Do you have that type of team? Do you think you're just going to miss out on the playoffs? Or do you think you're still going to suck? Let me know in the comment section below, and let's break down that schedule. The Broncos kick off the season in New York. And as far as I can remember, this is a marquee matchup on Fox. You have the spotlight. And I believe the NFL did that because they thought, hey, if Aaron Rodgers is going to be in Denver, maybe we should give them a showcase game. It does help that it's in New York, the first week that they have fans in a very long time. That also is a big selling point. But I have to answer this question before we give you the results of their record here. No, Aaron Rodgers will not be your quarterback this year, but I do believe he could be your quarterback next year. I do, but that's an entirely different video. As for week one, I have the Giants winning. I think what I said about the fans is a real thing this year because fans are going to be ballistic the first two games. It's going to be crazy because they have been really wanting to get back in that stadium and cheer on their team. And I think with the whole pandemic coming to a close, or at least hopefully slowing down at this point in September, and people getting back into sporting events with full-on fans and everything, that is something that I don't think you can quantify that might change the results of these early games. So don't be surprised by that. Week two, I don't think the home field matters for Jacksonville. I think the Broncos will win this game. The reason is Jacksonville's an immature team. Week two, they're going to be immature, okay? They have an immature quarterback, meaning he's rookie quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. They have a young coaching staff who's never really been a part of the NFL, at least their head coach. The defense is very young. Much of the offense is young. So I think the Broncos, given their chemistry of much of their team, their defense, the strength of their team is their defense, which I think is going to be tough for a rookie because this is going to be one of the best defenses in the league. And to face that in week two, when you play the Texans in week one, that's a big step up in competition. The same thing can be said about week three. All right. Now you're at home. You finally have a home game. And I think you'll win that game week three in front of your fans, which is also going to be a factor. The Jets going from the East Coast to the West, I think is also helpful in terms of travel of your opponent. But I think the biggest factor is playing a rookie quarterback versus Vic Fangio's defense and the pressure of Von Miller. Thankfully, he's back. He's one of my favorite players. Week four, you play the Ravens. And I said in the Ravens record prediction, this could be a slip-up spot for the Ravens because this is a tough matchup for the Ravens. I really believe. You know, the Ravens are a better team on paper, but the Broncos have some things about them, specifically on that front seven, that could slow the Ravens down. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Broncos won this game. So I'm actually going to save that one because I might actually end up giving the Broncos this game because I actually went a game above what I expected to give the Ravens in their record prediction. I had them at 12-5, and I was expecting to give them an 11-6. But because I do this live, like raw, not going over the schedule beforehand, I just kind of pick the games as I see fit. But I might change that result. We'll get to the end of the video and see how I feel. But week five, you play the Steelers. I have the Steelers winning, okay? The Steelers are a lot like the Broncos in terms of they have great front sevens, which are the strength of their team. Their defense is the strength of their team. But I think the Steelers have the better quarterback, and I think ultimately in Pittsburgh with Big Ben, they should be able to pull that one out. But it definitely can be close because I'm not super high on the Steelers. Now, when you play your first divisional opponent, which is the Raiders in week 6, I think you're going to split with the Raiders. I'm going to say that you win the final one in week 16, the second game, and I'm going to say you lose the first game. Even though it's at home and you're on the road in your win, that's just the way I'm going to split it up. Week 7, you play Thursday night versus the Cleveland Browns. I really like the Browns this year. I think they will beat you on Thursday night. It's tough to go to an opponent's building, especially one that's just a better team, and beat them on Thursday, right? It's really difficult. So I think the Browns will win this game, although I think the Broncos can really make it tough. You know, this is the thing with the Broncos. I don't think they're ever going to be out of a game because their defense, I really believe, is going to be awesome. So they're going to keep them in a lot of games this year. It's just a matter of, at the end of it, can you pull it off? And I just don't think versus some of the best teams they'll be able to do that, but they'll definitely make it entertaining and close. Week 8, the football team. I think the Broncos are literally the AFC's version of Washington. They just play in a much more difficult division with the Chargers and the Chiefs. If the Broncos were in the NFC East, people would look at them the same way they look at Washington. I absolutely guarantee it. But I'm going to go with the Broncos here because they are the home team. And because I feel both teams are very identical, I'm just going to go with the team that's at home. Week 9, the Cowboys. I have the Cowboys winning. It could be close. And I could see the Broncos pulling this one off, actually. But because it's in Dallas and because Dak is just so much better than the Broncos quarterback, that's kind of the edge I'm giving them there. Week 10, the Eagles and the Broncos. I'm going to go with the Broncos, okay? I think their defense, again, will be able to pull it off. But this could be a game where their offense does have a good game. Like, there's going to be games this year where the offense shines. Whether it's Locke or Bridgewater, the offense with the talent it has on the perimeter is going to shine, and I think it could versus the Eagles. You have a bye week, all right, so you're 5-5. I haven't done the Ravens game yet. And then you have week 12 versus the Chargers. I think you're also going to split versus the Chargers, okay? So I'm going to say you win after the bye, and then you lose in week 17. I like the Chargers a lot this year. I think they're going to be very, very good. Or not a contender, but like the tier below. I love Justin Herbert. I think if Justin Herbert was on the Broncos, that we would be talking about something entirely different, but that's not the case. Week 13, Broncos at Chiefs. I have the Chiefs winning at least one. Now, what I said about the Chiefs in their record prediction was that they could very well rest some players in week 18. So I think the Broncos are very lucky that they play the Chiefs in the final week of the season, because you may not have to play Mahomes in one of the games this year. You might not have to. So I'm going to say that you beat the Chiefs once, because I think the odds of that happening are actually pretty high. So I think you'll at least beat the Chiefs once. So let's just say it's that final game, and let's say you drop the first game in Kansas City. But I'm going to give you a win versus the Chiefs, which typically hasn't happened the last couple of years. But because of your defense and that secondary and how it's improved, I think you have an opportunity to beat them this year. Week 14, you play the Lions. I actually gave the Lions the win here. I think, here's the sneaky part about the Lions. They suck, don't get me wrong, but they actually do have a very good offensive and defensive line. And I think that will give them an opportunity to upset you in this game. And they have to win a couple games this year, and I just so happen to pick the Broncos as a potential upset. Okay? So that grinded out style of both teams is definitely going to come clashing, and we'll see what happens. But I do have the Lions winning. Week 15, I have the Broncos beating the Bengals. I think their pass rush is just going to be too much for the Bengals offensive line, but I would not say that's a guaranteed victory. So right now we have the Broncos at 8-8. And I gave the Ravens a win over the Broncos beforehand. I'll say this. I don't think 9-8 in the AFC is going to be enough to get a wild card spot. Now, I have the AFC South, the Colts, and the Titans finishing 9-8, which would win their division, but I don't have either of them like the second team in the wild card. So regardless of if you win or not, I don't think you'd make the playoffs, but I think you'd be close. I'm going to say that you just lose just because I already had that on the Ravens prediction. So I have you right now at 8-9. But when you look at this schedule and you look at the possibilities that exist for the Broncos, certainly a team that could be a wild card contender. They have a very talented roster, and it comes down to their quarterback position, and I think overall their offense and how they gel. If Drew Lock can somehow get it together, this team does have a very high ceiling. But if it's Teddy Bridgewater, I think you're going to end up being a 7, 6. I'll say 6 is the bare minimum, 6 wins. And the maximum is with Teddy Bridgewater, I'd say probably 10. And then with Drew Lock, your ceiling is pretty high. It's probably like 12 wins. So that's a good Drew Lock, I'll say. So let me know in the comments how you feel about the Broncos. They're definitely a difficult team to figure out because they're more of a defensive team. And obviously their weakest position is the quarterback position. So it's always difficult to figure out those type of teams and how good they're going to do in a given season. So thanks for watching. Gronk, spike that like button. Subscribe for more NFL. It's Mitch. Thanks for watching. Peace.